Hi, and welcome to another session of OTIS for Educators. I'm Nicole Matthew.
And I'm Joe Quadrino.
And we're both curriculum specialists here at Tech. Today you're joining us to learn how to use Schoology as a parent.
If you have any questions, make sure you hit that Ask Otis button on the right side of your screen, and someone on our team will help you out.
All right, let's take a look at our agenda and get started. So, whether you're new to Schoology as a parent or if your child has been enrolled in Schoology for a while, you'll definitely learn some helpful refreshers as we go through this course. So, first up, we're going to talk about what is Schoology, how to get started by signing up and logging in for that first time or maybe a repeated time, how to add additional children to your Schoology. Then we'll do an overview of the platform, differentiating between the parent view and the student view. And finally, we'll go over some helpful additional settings. So first up, what is Schoology? So Schoology is owned by PowerSchool. It is going to be a learning management system that they've hosted. And all a learning management system is it's a system where teachers are going to be able to store and distribute materials to students and their parents. So in Schoology, your child's teacher might use it to post different resource materials online, like a test or a quiz. They might use it to post discussions. They might post videos or other resources for your child. It's also going to be the place where they collect any materials that your students are going to be distributing to them. So next up, let's go over how to get started by signing up and logging in for that first time. All right, so first we're going to select sign up as a parent. When you select sign up, there's going to be a variety of different options. You have the option to sign up as an instructor, a teacher, or parent. You're going to want to make sure to select that parent option. Then you're going to need to enter the parent access code, which is provided by your teacher. It's very important to note that this parent access code is unique for each student. So every child in the class will have a different parent access code. And different children that you have in other classes are going to have their own unique access code. So you're going to want to make sure that you're using your child's specific one and not asking another parent for their child's access code should you lose yours. If you do lose your child's access code, just reach out to your child's teacher and they will get that for you right away. You're going to also be presented with some important information, basic information about like your name, your email address, making a password, and then finally you're going to select register to complete this registration process. Let's head over to the computer. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so let's exit out of here. And this is the Schoology main page. So if you are logging in for the first time, you're going to select sign up as I mentioned before. If you're logging in with your current Schoology account, you're going to select that login option. Now, when I hover over sign up, here are those three different options that I mentioned to you before. This is where you will select parent. It kind of has a briefcase next to it, and that's what you're going to select if you're signing up for that first time. Now, I'm currently logged in, so I'm not going to show you that sign up process, but you are going to be prompted with that important information that you're going to want to have ready to go. Now we're going to talk about something important, adding additional children. So let's say you have other children whose teachers are using Schoology and you want to make sure that you get your child registered. There's some important considerations that we want to make if this is the case. There are two different paths that you're going to have the option of going through. So if your children are in the same school district or the same school account group, all you're going to do is select the Add a Child option within your current account once you're already logged in. Now, if your children are in different districts, they're in a different school managed system, or they might be in a different school, it all depends on how your child's district has it structured. If you select the Add a Child option, it's going to say that you need to create a new account. So you're going to have to create a brand new account in Schoology for you in order to manage that child. I am going to show you a little later how to link two different accounts together, but it's very important to note that if your child is in a different school district or a different school, you're going to have to create that brand new Schoology account to manage their account. So let's head over to the computer. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so before we move on here, here is my Schoology homepage. So when you log in for the first time, I'm logging in as parent Nancy Newt. I'm going to see any recent activity here and the course dashboard. So if I click on Course dashboard, that's where I would see any courses that I as a parent are currently enrolled in. So maybe my child's school also has a course for the PTO or other kinds of organizations, or maybe tips and tricks for remote learning within school, resources at home. All of those things are there. So it is possible that you might be managing your child's account, but that you yourself might also be enrolled in an account. So if I select the parent name up here, you'll notice there's a little arrow with a drop-down menu. If I select on that, I'm going to see my name, my child Christine's name, and then I'm going to see that Add a Child option down at the bottom there. So if I select Add a Child, it's going to ask me for that child's unique parent access code. So as long as I have that code available, I can go ahead and input it, and it will automatically just add my child. I won't need to complete a separate registration process. All right, so let's head back to our presentation and talk about the student view versus the parent view. I'm going to go over at the board a quick overview of the platform before we head off to the computer. So through the child's view, you can see your entire child's account as they see it through their view. There are some features that you're not able to do, however, like viewing personalized messages between the student and their teacher. If you check out our teacher course, you would know that it's going to be different and very personalized and private between the teacher and the student. So that's something important to keep in mind. You have access to your child's materials, any course updates, their grades, their attendance, and their class list. All of this is within that student view. Now in the parent account activity, we have a couple of different views that we can see as well. You're going to see, as I mentioned before, your recent activity, your course dashboard for any courses you're enrolled in. You're going to see your calendar, and you'll also see any messages that you have. So while you might not be able to see messages from your child's teacher to your student, you can correspond with your child's teacher in that way. Let's head over to the computer, and I'll show you those two different views. All right, so here I am in that page where I have my recent activity, my course dashboard. Up at the top here, I'd like to highlight some important features. So I mentioned that you are able to message your child's teacher, so you can do that from here as well, and your personal calendar, which you can do as well. So right now, this is all I can see in my parent view. I'm going to go ahead and select my child Christine's view, and we'll see what it looks like from her side. So when I click on my child's view, you'll see I see all of the different courses that they are currently enrolled in and any recent activity right there. So if I click on my child's course, Remote Learning Spring 2020, with her teacher Emma Foley, if I click on that, we'll see exactly what Christine sees. So at the top it says, you are viewing as Christine Bell. So that's my child. I'm able to see everything that she sees. I can see any assignments that have been posted. I can see when they are due. I can go through and see any course updates. On the side here, maybe some assignments from our teacher, Ms. Foley. Then I can check out my child's grades. I can see what they've turned in, what they haven't, what they've gotten on everything. I can see their attendance, and then I can also see the different members of the class. So it's important to note that in this members section, all I'm seeing are the other children who are enrolled in this course with my student. I'm not seeing any contact or personal information, so if you wanted to send a message to other parents or something for your child's teacher to share with all the students, maybe a birthday celebration announcement, you would need to contact the child's teacher and have them do that for you.
Nikki, I just want to add that this is a great way for parents to stay engaged with what their students are doing, especially at home. Maybe students don't fully understand what they see in their Schoology account too if they're new to using it. So even as a parent, being able to see what they see, play around with it, help them find the assignments they need, even on your own device while they're looking on theirs. The fact that you can see exactly what the students see is a great benefit that Schoology gives us.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. This is especially important for students who are in younger grade levels. If you have a child who, is maybe in those primary grades, they might not be as savvy with navigating the platform. It's important for you to be able to know how to navigate that platform, to engage with them. They might not be able to show you at home step by step how to actually do that. It's also a great tool so that you can go through with your child and make sure that you both are on the same page about when assignments are due, where they're posted, what those different features look like, if they have any questions. That parent-child relationship can really help field some other questions to the teacher. Make sure that those content-heavy questions are what really get sent to the teacher. Thanks for asking, Joe. All right. So, as Joe mentioned before, really seeing into your child's account can help you keep engaged with what is going to be important to them. You can see a variety of different things. Make sure that you are seeing any recent updates by the teacher. So now finally, we're going to go over some additional settings that you might want to check out when you're setting up your Schoology account, either for the first time or if you're adding some new features to them. So the way that we access these additional settings is by clicking on your name, as we did before, selecting settings from that drop-down menu that appears, and then we can adjust a variety of different options. So there are some general settings, like language preference. This is where we can link or merge different accounts if we have a unique account for another child at a different school. We can share our calendar. We can even access and see our calendar. And then we can also see any notification preferences that we have enabled and set them up to be sent via text or email. And finally, you can see your privacy settings and set them to depend on where you share something for the whole school, with just your class, or with students in the class as well. So let's head over to the computer and check that out. All right, so let's take a look at the computer and see within our account how we can change some of these features. So here I am at my parent page. It's very important that you're in the parent page and not going from the student view, because some of these options, which I mentioned earlier, you are not going to be able to edit if you are accessing the settings through the child's view. So it's important that you are in the parent view. So as I mentioned before, we're going to select our name from the top here, and we'll be presented with that drop-down menu, and select Settings. So if I click on Settings, you'll see I can adjust a variety of things, like if I needed to change my name, or if I needed to change my primary email address, add an alternate account. I can even add a unique username if I would like to. I can change time zones. I can also set the default account for when I log in. What's that account that I'm going to be seeing? Is it my child's activity or is it my activity? I can change my password. Here's where I can share my Schoology calendar. So if I select Enable, this is where I'm going to be able to access my calendar using this link. I can set it up with Google Calendar or Outlook. That way, whatever I'm seeing in my Schoology calendar, I don't have to constantly be checking back and forth between it. And I won't also need to log in to see any updates to my child's account. Here is also where I can do two very important options if I have other Schoology accounts. So I can link an account if I have multiple Schoology accounts. Let's say I have a child in an elementary school and I have one in a middle school, one in a high school, and I have 3 separate accounts, and I want to have them all in one place. I can use the Link Accounts option and sync them all together. This makes it easy to switch between all the different accounts that you have without having to log into each separately. Then if we want to merge accounts, let's say I forgot that a few years ago one of my children's teacher used Schoology and I already created an account for that. If I merge the accounts together, this is going to delete the old account and add any of the current relevant groups to my current account, and I can manage those groups as I choose to. Then I have another option to set my home page if I'd like to view it as recent activity or course dashboard when I select on my name as the parent. So I'm going to scroll up to the top and we're going to go through some notifications. So here I can access some notifications about my child's academic, any comments on posts, any course updates. I can dictate exactly what I would like to have sent to me. So right here it says email, but I also can click on this option on the side here if I'd like to have notifications sent via a text message to my phone. I can have notifications for school groups. Maybe there are different groups within my school that I'd like to receive some updates on, or any public groups that I've registered with within Schoology, as well as any updates or private messages if I get any from my child's teacher. Now here we have privacy settings. Here's where I can really manage what people see when I post things about my account. So who can see my profile? Is it everyone? Is it all Schoology users? Is it just people in my school? Or maybe I don't want anyone aside from me to be able to see some of these different options. Now, if I click on my home page, before we kind of wrap up, I'd like to point out some other important features for you. So I mentioned that you are able to message your child's teacher. If you'd like to message your child's teacher, you're going to select at the top of the page here this envelope option. If I select that, any messages that I currently have in my inbox are going to come here. If I need a new message to my child's teacher, I can select that as well. And I'm just going to want to create a subject. Who am I sending it to? And then the message to my child's teacher. I also have a couple options on the bottom here. I can upload a file, put a link in, or if I have any resources that I have saved to my account, I can put it up there as well. Now, I mentioned to you before sharing your calendar to any other calendars you have, but if I wanted to access my calendar from my account, I would go at the top here as well, and you'll see it's kind of got a little bit of different buttons, looks like a little desktop calendar. If I select on that, I'm going to see any updates that I have from my child's teacher as well. I can also filter the view. Do I want just me? Do I want updates from the school? So I can select those different things as well. And I highly encourage you to use the messaging feature and to really rely on this calendar feature. It provides everything in one close place, and the messaging feature allows you to send personalized messages to your child's teacher and help keep you really engaged in your child's learning. Thanks for joining us for our Schoology overview for parents. I'd like to thank Joe for moderating.
Thanks for having me, Nikki.
And Brian behind the camera. Remember, if you'd like to receive credit for completing today's course, don't forget to take the quiz and complete the survey after the course. And if you have any questions, click the Ask OTIS button and one of our team members will be sure to answer it for you. Thanks and have a great day.